appealing a chilling $10 as Amber Heard. Johnny Depp wants a new trial or a reversal of his defamation verdict. Johnny Depp's Rum Diary co-star has already submitted her own brief to the Virginia courts, less than a month after Johnny Depp officially appealed a portion of the judgment in his extensive defamation case against Amber Heard. Heard's relatively new attorneys are also regularly criticizing trial court Judge Penny Ascarrett, while waving the First Amendment flag. The trial court incorrectly refused to dismiss this case on the grounds of forum nonconvenience, because it believed that Depp's claims originated in Virginia because the Washington Post's servers are there, said David L. Axelrod and J. Ward Brown in the document submitted on November 23. The attorneys from Ballard Spahr LLP, a constitutional law firm with offices in Washington, D.C., said that the trial court made a mistake by rejecting Heard's demur, in which she claimed that the challenged statements are non-actionable expressions of opinion and are not capable of conveying the alleged defamatory implication. Check out the appeal here. If that holding is allowed to stand, more women who want to talk about abuse involving powerful men will definitely feel intimidated. Judge Ascarrett was further criticized for omitting highly probative material, and by permitting irrelevant and prejudicial evidence in the Fairfax County case, which ended nearly entirely in Depp's favor on June 1. In her appeal, Heard asks for the over $10 million verdict against her to be overturned or dismissed in favor of a new trial. The 68-page appellant brief claims that the case should never have gone to trial because another court had already found that Depp had repeatedly assaulted Heard. The appeal refers to the ultimately unsuccessful libel lawsuit the former Pirates of the Caribbean actor brought against Rupert Murdoch's The Sun tabloid in 2018 for calling him a wife-beater in print. After Depp filed this case, the United Kingdom High Court of Justice ruled in a separate defamation action brought by Depp that Heard's abuse allegations were true, the appeal notes. According to the Aquaman actor's most recent petition, the trial court should have given preclusive effect to that 129-page ruling, which followed a 3-week trial at which Depp, Heard, and 24 other witnesses testified. In March 2019, Depp filed a $50 million lawsuit against his ex-wife Heard for an opinion piece she wrote for The Washington Post in late 2018. The ambassador for the American Civil Liberties Union discussed how she became a public figure symbolizing domestic abuse in the article, despite the fact that Heard avoided mentioning her ex-husband by name in the article in the Jeff Bezos-owned newspaper. Depp, who has a checkered history with the law, said the opus-ed devastated his already waning career. Depp claimed that in the couple's relationship, he was the one who was abused in both his initial lawsuit and subsequent filings. On the witness stand throughout the Virginia trial, the actor reaffirmed that claim. Strangely, Depp made no such remark throughout his and Heard's contentious 2016 divorce, which was complicated by restraining orders. Even before their $7 million settlement practically forbade him from doing so, Heard countersued Depp for $100 million in the summer of 2020 after failing to get the case dismissed or transferred to another state, such California. The UK High Court dealt Depp a painful defeat in the case against The Sun in November 2020. Since then, Depp's attempts to appeal from that side of the Atlantic have failed miserably. Early in November, Depp filed his own appeal in the Virginia case after all sides agreed to do so within hours of the jury's decision on June 1. The $2 million that the Virginia jury awarded Heard in a countersuit claim was filed on November 3 in Virginia's Court of Appeals with the statement that this court should reverse the judgment on Ms. Heard's counterclaim as to the April 27 Waldman statement, but should otherwise affirm the judgment in Mr. Depp's favor. The 7-person panel voted strongly in favor of Depp despite only having one counterclaim in the 7-week defamation trial. The former Oscar candidate was given $10 million in compensatory damages and $5 million in punitive penalties, propelled by supporters inside and outside the courtroom. Judge Ascarrett decreased the amount of punitive damages to $350,000, the state's maximum allowable amount, before discharging the jury. That $2 counterclaim award, which seemed significant at the time, might turn out to be the weak link in the first case, at least if Heard's attorneys get their way. Heard's appeal from just before Thanksgiving states that the jury verdict against Heard on all of Depp's claims cannot be reconciled with the jury verdict against Depp on Heard's counterclaim. The lengthy document reads, to find for Depp, the jury must have found that Depp did not abuse Heard and that Heard knowingly lied in accusing him of abuse. But to rule in Heard's favor, the jurors must have come to the conclusion that Heard was telling the truth when she claimed Depp had abused her at home. The judgment against Heard cannot stand as a result. You think that things would move quickly now that Depp and Heard have both submitted their appeals, at least in accordance with the standards of the American legal system. Not much in this instance. The merits of both appeals will now be decided by a panel of judges in accordance with Virginia law. Heard and Depp have the option of taking the case to the Commonwealth's Supreme Court, depending on how that turns out and who is left feeling let down. Which means that, if this is ever truly resolved, it will be years before it is.